the James Street shul,
building, yeah.
for which I still have the key to the front door.
You're kidding! Oh, how wonderful!
The youth group was given a room.
That's right.
And someone in the temple, I think, donated to us these carpet squares.
That's right.
And I remember the day, I don't remember where we went, but we went somewhere and we carried them back on a bus to the temple. And then we laid out all those squares that were all different patterns and different fabric materials. And I remember I think we must have nailed them down, and there was that room with all those colors, and that was our space to get together. Right. So even the fact that the synagogue dedicated, I think there was a lot of belief in the importance of that youth group. And you were asking what my mother did at the beginning that I don't remember, but one thing I recall is that the parents of those kids were also very involved with the temple. So I think there was a sense that both generations were very engaged in the synagogue. And I remember really it was like an extended family of the people the parents of the kids in that group were very supportive and very involved themselves. So it wasn't like sort of sending your child off and hope you get a Jewish identity over there in that experience. I think there was lots of commitment involved, lots of driving. That was before people had were old enough to have their driver's licenses. So lots of driving people back and forth to meetings, and so that's one of the things that I was thinking that I think helped make that work, is because the parents were committed and the kids were committed, and the period of the youth group, I think the role that you and Bernie played was really a key role, and the synagogue that I'm in now has never had a couple like you to play that kind of combination of role of being able, as I said, to be supportive, but to let go and let the process unfold as it did.
Well, I thank you for the compliment.
I was a member of the first choir, and I think it would have been about 1969, the end of 1968. And the director of the choir at the time was David Alexander, who I think might have been president of Temple at the time as well. We used to sing every Friday night at the Montefiore Club, where we used to have services, a small choir. And we used to rehearse at Anne Swadron's house. I remember that. She played the piano. And sometimes we rehearsed at the governor of the Bank of Canada, Louis Rasminski's house. I always remember that because it was pretty special in Rockcliffe, because his daughter played the piano sometimes. So this was a really good memory of that first choir because it was very small. I think Anne Horovitch was in it. I think Joyce Begurk was in it. I'm trying to remember. Ray Kaplan was somebody that was in it. Just Mert Borkovich, I think, when he came, maybe not then, but a little bit later. The memories of that early choir, we were very, very close, and everybody went to every rehearsal, and we sang every Friday night, and we sang lots of different music that we're still singing today. I mean, some of the tunes we're still using today. I honestly can remember that, and I don't know, we had sheet music, and I don't know, we just had a really cohesive group, and it was just a really, really pleasant experience. And somebody else who was very involved in that choir was Max Sternthal. He was the cantor at the time, and we just thought he was terrific. I mean, for years and years and years, you remember he sang, even just as a solo in the High Holidays. But Max was a big part of that choir too.
When Don Gerber was there, we used to put out all the bulletins.
Okay.
I'd have to deliver them to Rabbi Bolka, to Rabbi Fine, to the one on Kirkwood, and go to all the synagogues, and God forbid he should mail a bulletin.
So you were there then when David Powell left and
Yes.
Don Gerber came.
Yes. Oh, I worked with Don and his secretary, and we worked together. And then he'd give us a treat at the end of the month, and we'd go to Green Valley and have lunch.
Oh, really? All right.
Oh, yeah.
Were you the Temple when they started the school?
Oh, yes.
Hebrew
I was
school?
one of the teachers.
Were you?
We all taught.
Okay. Okay.
Phyllis taught, I taught.
Who else?
We couldn't afford to hire teachers.
Right.
I think Ricky Grebler must have been. No, I know Ricky was Paula's teacher. She gave Paula her things for her bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
And Paula, my daughter, is now a Rebbitzin in Thornhill.
Many memories of our days at Temple Israel, but what I'd like to spend a minute or two on is our son Tobys Bar Mitzvah in 1997. Now, when I talk about inclusivity and feeling welcome, Toby is an adoptive child. He is of a race that is not the same as my wife's and mine. He is Asian from the Philippines, but you would never know that any such differences exist in Temple Israel. You may see differences if you come in from the street, but everyone is Jewish here. The rabbi emphasized that at Tobys Bar Mitzvah. The rabbi, who was Rabbi Garten, was able to connect the Parsha, which dealt with Moses and Moses' own marriage, to a non-Jewish person, and having her welcomed into the community in the same way as he made Toby feel welcome, and of course at the same time passed a very important message on to the community as a whole. On that day, there was love just emanating from the ceremony, from the bima, from the guests of our family, but also from the temple members who became our extended family. So Temple Israel is about inclusivity, it's about family, it's about togetherness. In our lifetime, it has perhaps been the most important bonding experience, bringing us together with the rest of Judaism, not only in Canada, but something we were able to take with us on our travels.